Shout out to Great Lakes Tees, where you can get premium, soft, true to size, modern fit t-shirts by fans for fans. Use promo code SURVIVE for 10% off on their website at greatlakestees.com.
I just checked my order, Adam. I got the Baker Mania shirt coming in. That is on its way. I just checked it this morning, so I'm looking forward to that one. And there's some other awesome shirts on there. The Bless 'em Landry is going to be a big one, I imagine. So get on there. Check them out.
That's promo code SURVIVE on greatlakestees.com for 10% off. Browns 0-8 at home. Just sad.
I haven't heard you this down since Stocky Brown got fired. It's a game that we're in, and it's a game that we just don't finish.
I don't want to watch anymore.
Why? Why does that happen? I'm so sick of watching those plays.
16.
I definitely do not want to watch the all 22.
That's up and down to me. That looks like dysfunction. And we're back. Season 3, episode number 8, surviving the season. Browns lose 19-17.
Oh, the streak ends.
Streak is over.
Oh, man.
Everybody's
so much for those back-to-back undefeated preseason champs shirts.
Yeah, terrible.
They gave it away. Baker went out there, should have had the win. Stanton came in for the save, blew the save.
Yeah, is that how it happened?
Yeah, we need a bullpen, bro.
Yeah.
Bullpen's terrible in Cleveland.
Why is Stanton even playing? We'll get to that. It's so stupid.
Yeah. It's terrible. Get him off the field.
Other breaking news, Josh Gordon has returned to the team conditionally. Apparently, he is allowed to condition and attend meetings. He is not allowed to practice per NFL PR guy.
That just sounds like total made-up bullshit name. Yeah. Right? Well, hey, I'm NFL PR guy, and I'll just tweet stuff all day. Like, hey, I'm retweeting NFL PR guy. Who is it?
If that's not real, then blame Tom Pellisario or whatever his name is.
It is Tom Pellisario's fault if that is the case. He's coming back. I mean, I don't even think he's back here though yet, right? I saw Gordon send out a thing saying, "Hey, well, I'm coming back anyways." There must be something that made this be the day that he chose. Was there a paycheck due or something? I wonder.
Apparently, it was all part of the plan.
Okay. That's what they're saying. Which that doesn't sound. I mean, for the Browns to say that will sound pretty ridiculous. If like Hugh comes out and says that, when we all sit there and watch Hard Knocks, and they're like, even in the meetings, they're like, "When's Josh coming in?" We don't know.
They didn't even know he was gone.
Yeah, right. They didn't even know he was gone until he was gone. What's he got? It says,
yeah. If this was pre-negotiated plan, why would the Browns not know?
Because it's not.
Bow, 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 bow.
Yeah, it's conspiracy theorists will be out in droves. There's no way this was a preset thing. This is something that at the last minute, whether he's talking to whoever his counselor is or whatever, he goes through with the NFL and they said, "Hey, you got to, let's go take care of some of these issues and then you come back." But there's no way you preset this and you got all summer and then all of a sudden you go, "We're just going to do it once training camp starts." And then I also see like people tweeting who are, I wish I could remember who it was, who are like Mike Freeman. That's who it was. Did you see the Mike Freeman tweet? No. Well, in my opinion, this is because of Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks is still going, bro. What are you even talking about? This will keep Hard Knocks, the cameras away from him. He's gone for 2 weeks. What do you think's going to happen as soon as he walks in the building, dude? There's going to be like 10 cameras on him the whole time. The whole next episode is probably going to be Josh Gordon when he walks in the building. So let's not act like it's because of Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks is still there. Hard Knocks isn't going anywhere for a couple weeks. Yeah,
Cajuste is going to lose his segment this week for sure.
Well, he had a segment. This is the way it usually works, and now we have to find another story on the team. Still haven't had any Jabril Peppers, so I imagine some Jabril Peppers will be coming down the pike here.
Yeah, so Gordon's back in the building. This is good. We'll figure it out as it moves forward as to what this entails.
Do you think this means no more Dez Bryant?
If Gordon wasn't even playing this year, I wouldn't sign Dez Bryant.
Okay.
I would find somebody younger.
You can. They have younger guys on their team then. They might as well just stick with them. What's the point? You're not going to find anybody else that's up to his ability. Is what I'm saying. Whether at no age, there's not an age out there that you're going to find anybody of his ability. So if that's the case, you might as well just go with like CJ Board, who's been doing a nice job. He's just unproven. I'm not saying none of these guys can play. You just have nobody's shown it in games. The Mari Scott kid looked pretty good. What's the other kid that Willies that caught the touchdown pass that was ruled not a touchdown pass? So
Derek Willies.
Some of these guys look halfway decent. Now they just never been up against number one cornerbacks. And then once you start having some injuries, you're talking about our wide receiver room looking like last year's quarterback room.
Right. Dez was in yesterday or Thursday for another interview, stayed overnight, apparently continued into the next day. And did Zagura mention something about Monday having some more info?
I thought he said, it mentioned maybe going into next week they might get a deal done. But Dez Bryant's out there signing Browns helmets for some reason. You're not a Brown. What if he doesn't become a Brown? Is that helmet worth something?
It's a weird helmet, yeah. I don't know. I mean, if they handed Dorsey a list of 29 other dudes, so I really don't care about Dez's like whatever attitude or whatever, but it's not like Dez is going to be catching playoff passes from Mayfield in 2020.
No, but who's going to be catching playoff passes this year, dude? You have no faith. We're on the road to redemption, and you're over there playing in the tumbleweed. We're trying to go down the path to a championship, and you're dicking around playing grab ass. You don't care about this year. I
do. But maybe we can train somebody up. Maybe there's somebody out there they like that'll fit the system.
Yeah.
Maybe that's Dez. Fuck it. Maybe he is the right guy.
Yeah, I'm just looking for proven guy this year because, I mean, look, we're running Higgins out there playing a ton of snaps, and he's been fine, but you definitely don't want Higgins being an outside receiver, in my opinion. You're not going to get anything down. You lose the ability to stretch the field, and he can't. Dez doesn't necessarily stretch the field, but you can throw it up to him. Higgins doesn't have that jump ball ability like Dez does. It's not even close on that same ability. Dez just, he brings a little bit of an attitude too that I would like. You get with Jarvis, but you don't get with many other guys on this team.
If we have Gordon and Landry and Njoku catching balls, everyone's like, Higgins looks great. He looks better. He's a third-year wide receiver. He's supposed to look better. This is his year. I mean, he's an okay part of the team, but no, he's not a starting outside receiver. This is going to be detrimental throughout the season if we're looking at these guys like they're going to be stars. I mean, Higgins could put up a nice line, but he's not going to go catch 1,000 yards worth of passes. Forget about it.
No. Yeah. Oh, yeah. If like a great season would be like what Taylor Gabriel gave Atlanta 2 years ago, where everybody's like, I can't believe we gave away Taylor Gabriel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
he catches some passes.
He caught like 40 balls. Like, geez. Like, it's fine. I would be happy with that out of Higgins, to be honest. That would be a nice year. But, I mean, the guy's not going to catch 80 balls for it.
Right. That's his goddamn ceiling, though.
And if he does, let's just say you're forced to have – that's what I'm saying. Now, if you go with Landry gets hurt, Gordon ends up getting suspended or something, and Higgins has to catch 80 balls, that's bad for your team in the fact that he just doesn't have any after-the-catch ability. Right. He doesn't have athletic – I mean, you're just limited at what you do. You need guys that can, like Njoku. Njoku can he can make plays nobody else can even think of making. Gordon makes plays nobody else can think of. Landry is not going to give you like tons of after the catch ability, but man, he makes ridiculous catches that other people aren't going to make. One-handed catches and shit like that. He's catching everything that comes his way. Those guys are rare, and we don't have many of those guys we don't have any of those guys really. Once you look after Jarvis Landry and Gordon, and what do you have with Gordon? If you want to rely on Gordon, that's fine. But we've been down that road before. To me, Gordon is a bonus. That is it. You cannot treat him any other way. You treat him as if he's not even on your squad. When he shows up, he's like a designated hitter type guy, right?
Yeah,
that's what he is. You just throw him out there. Well, maybe some weeks we don't get to play him because he's in trouble or whatever the hell's going on. Hopefully he is here. I mean, Callaway's also doing a nice job so far, so we still have him.
What happened to Callaway in this last game? 1 carry for 3 yards, no targets? I didn't barely see him out there.
Well, he didn't play the whole game.
No,
they didn't. They didn't throw the ball worth a damn. They were terrible throwing the ball, at least in the first half. They ended up the first half with 22 yards passing, and then finally Baker got it going. Really, just the offense is so vanilla right now. They are just, it seems like Haley's really just trying to grind this thing out and not giving away anything.
Yeah, that could be true.
He wants to get the run game going. The run game looked a lot better in this game.
Yeah, there was some nice holes. Hyde 64 yards on 9 carries and scored 7.1 average. Nice.
So that's very good. And he ran through some really big holes and made the best of what his opportunity was. I mean, what Tyrod throw for passes again? He had 22 yards passing. How many attempts did he even have?
7.
Right. So now in 2 games, he's got 11 total passes. Like, that's not much work out of Tyrod so far.
3.1 average. One thing that I think is also going to be frustrating in the season is if we're starting Taylor, is 3rd and 10 is going to be a bunch of 7-yard passes to Landry and punts. Tyrod is not the dude to like stand in there and find someone, or Tyrod on 3rd and 10 takes his drop, nobody open, and then takes off for 4 yards and a punt. I think we're overestimating how good the offense is going to be with Tyrod Taylor on 3rd down.
Well, I mean, he did throw the ball down the field on that one to Landry, overthrew him. I can't remember what the down was there. I think he's fine. I mean, I think maybe you're underestimating him slightly. I don't think he's, like this great quarterback throwing down the field, but I think especially if you put Gordon in there also, if you got Gordon opposite with Landry, you got Njoku running in the middle of the field, you got Callaway. I mean, look at that, dude. I mean, that's a nice lineup. That's that tells me you don't need Dez. The problem is 2 of those guys, you don't even know if they're going to be there every goddamn week. Yeah. So that's, but there's plays to be made. I think Tyrod, he's going to be able to find open guys. I think you might be slightly underestimating. There's been a really small sample size of what we've been given here so far with him.
True, but we know his averages over his career are much lower than a lot of guys.
Yeah, but he's never played with this kind of talent, especially the last couple of years in Buffalo. I mean, look at the guys he played with. If Gordon's here, man, he's never had a receiver like that. So there's an opportunity. I'm not saying he's going to light the world on fire. What you're saying is Mayfield gives you a better chance. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, I think we should just get over.
Okay.
Get over.
Yeah, just get it over with.
Get it over with. Let's go. Remember we talked about this with the Kaiser Kessler. Remember it was like, well, if it's 3rd and 4, I want Kessler.
Yeah.
If it's
yeah, exactly.
It was 3rd and 15. We want Hogan or whatever. I don't remember how it went.
Yeah.
It was
anything 8 yards or less is Kessler. Anything 8 yards or more was either Kaiser or Hogan.
Yeah. And in the red zone, it was no more. Kaiser's out. Yeah. So Tyrod and Mayfield are not going to throw a lot of picks. Mayfield's going to throw some rookie picks, and we can probably get him out of the way this year and still win a few games.
Who gives you the best chance of winning?
Mayfield.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what it all comes down to, in my opinion.
I think so. I think he's going to be better against the blitz. I think he's going to be better on 3rd down. I think he's going to go through progressions quicker and throw more as accurate as Taylor, and probably isn't going to turn the ball over. Taylor never turns the ball over. That's his best trait. But I think Mayfield can be just as good. Yeah,
I think they're pretty close in talent.
Tyrod can probably run better, right? Mayfield can get out of the pocket, but Tyrod is a legit runner.
Yeah, I mean, Mayfield's got the nod in throwing ability over Tyrod, that's for sure. But I think you're slightly underestimating Tyrod here.
No, I like Tyrod. I might be maybe I'm overestimating Mayfield. But I like Tyrod. I think Tyrod's a decent game manager, and if your defense is good and you have a good rushing attack, you can and Tyrod can keep the 3rd downs short. Yeah, I think he can. I think he can move the ball down the field. But if we got 2.5 minutes and we're down 2, and you got to go 80 yards, Jesus!
You don't love Tyrod there. No. Yeah, you're probably right. To me, that's what it comes down to. Who's the better quarterback? You just play the better quarterback, no matter who it is. I think Tyrod's done his part, and if it's a tie, I'm just going to go with the experienced guy. It's why when I look at that from, if I'm to be totally honest, you really should play the rookie if you're tied, because you're going to have the guy for the next 5 years, and you need to make sure that he's up to speed as much as possible. In my opinion, you're going to do that on the field rather than sitting off to the side. You're going to learn more playing than not playing, and you have a guy on a rookie contract. So right now is your time. A quarterback on a rookie contract is your time. This is Super Bowl time. If you have the team around this guy, this is where you can start winning Super Bowls. And you are sort of just wasting your time with Tyrod at that point. But if Tyrod's clearly ahead of Mayfield, I think Tyrod's probably slightly ahead of Mayfield, in my opinion. And the reason being, and we haven't really seen Mayfield, and this could be different. If Mayfield played with the first team, I might feel a little bit different about it. But a lot of times when you're playing with the second team guys, you don't have that same kind of pass rush that you're dealing with.
Sure.
Those guys coming, those guys on the edge. Like, those guys are rare. How many, there's not even 32 Myles Garretts in the league, right? Like, there's probably like 10. There's a handful of guys that are as athletic and have the ability of a Myles Garrett. And really, most of them don't have that ability, but are really good pass rushers, is what I'm getting at. Mm-hmm. And then you don't deal with that with the second team. You don't have to worry about that as much. Like, you look at A.J. McCarron out there yesterday, and Myles Garrett just ate the lunch of Deion Dawkins over and over and over. I mean, the dude didn't stand a chance of holding the ball for more than 2.5 seconds because Garrett was hitting him every single time. Yeah, like, it's unfair at that point. I'm not really worried about the Browns line, but I think Tyrod's experience helps out there. But man, Mayfield's pocket presence is rare for a rookie. This is a tough call, dude. If you really break this down and be honest with it, this is really freaking close.
Yeah, Tyrod's more experienced. He's been in the NFL. He knows how to prepare. He knows what he's doing. I'm sure he understands all the business aspects and all that shit. It would probably be best for Mayfield to sit comfortably behind Taylor for half a season, but I just don't know if there's a point to it.
Is it really better? Is it really beneficial to sit? I think let's just say that you're far. Like, I think all the other rookies should really sit. I think Mayfield is the one that is actually ready, and not saying the other guys have played well. What's funny is you look at all these rookie quarterbacks, and we talked about how good of a rookie draft this is for quarterbacks. All of them are playing well so far. That's really good to see. That's pretty awesome for the NFL anyways. But Mayfield just has more experience in college than all these other guys. He's been in more big moments. He's played just more football, and he's clearly ahead of the other guys in maturity and whatnot. And leadership and just being, just looking like you're ready to play. If I'm the Jets, I'm sitting Darnold because the team around him's freaking terrible, and he's clearly not ready, coming off of like 22 turnovers that he had last year. Josh Allen, same thing. If I'm the Bills, no chance in hell I want to play Josh Allen. I don't want to throw him to the wolves. Rosen you could get away with. I think Rosen's probably the closest to Mayfield. But Mayfield is by far the one that's most ready to play, in my opinion, and therefore it's a different beast here that you're working with. You can't compare him to just most.
An aside here, if you got Peterman and McCarron, and I think McCarron broke his collarbone, and you're in Buffalo, dude, I think I'd start Allen and just.
But they're probably going to start Allen.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is the difference is I think when you're not ready, you can really ruin a guy's psyche, because then you go out there. Yeah, he's going to make it depending on how fragile he is. I guess if he's that fragile, then he's probably not going to work out anyways.
Yeah.
But throwing a guy out there like Kaiser when he's not ready, probably not good for Kaiser. They did it with Stafford, like Kaiser and Stafford, pretty close, similar stats, and Stafford's come around now. But I think when you're throwing a rookie quarterback out there, you want to have a good team around him. I honestly think the Browns have a good team around Mayfield. I'm not afraid of what the team isn't going to hurt Mayfield,
Yeah, that's a good point. But Buffalo has McCoy. Team is going to hurt Darnold.
The Jets are going to hurt Darnold. Well, I'm sorry, what's that?
You could lean on McCoy in Buffalo. I mean, yeah, they don't have any really receivers, right? Calvin Benjamin and a couple other cast-offs. So I don't know. Yeah, you don't want to throw the kid out there and just ruin him, but
I think Mayfield's ready, man. I really do. There's not even like an inkling like this guy it's too big for him. I don't feel that at all. Like, the kid is going out there and he's got control of the game. He's ready to play, that much is for sure. The Browns sure as hell aren't gonna allow this. Hugh's not gonna allow it because his job's on the line and he freaking knows it. So he's gonna go with the experienced guys because he's afraid of the unknown. I think if you were given a clean slate as a coach here, that there would be a lot more of a discussion. Let's just say you're a first-year coach, you would be going, well, Mayfield is my future, and you would be you would probably weigh that a little bit more heavily than what Hugh is. Hugh's, I don't even think isn't even thinking about it.
If Taylor was like on a 3-year contract, or he was on the end of his rookie contract or something where you thought, well, hey, we got 2 good quarterbacks. We don't have to rush this. But everybody knows Taylor's gone at the end of the year. He's just literally warming the seat.
Well, except for anybody that thinks Dorsey had any seriousness to him talking about, well, we'll probably talk to Tyrod's agent in around October or something, see if maybe they want to do a deal.
Yeah,
right.
We'll give you $4 million a year to back them up.
Yeah, which is a great deal for the Browns, and in fact, I would do that.
Yeah,
that would be a good move, especially with the way Tyrod's been working with him so far. It seems to be working out well. But Tyrod ain't going to do that. Tyrod wants to make money.
Sure, yeah.
He wants to be a starter,
and I expect him to be somewhere else. So we're going into game 3 of the preseason when the starter's going to play a lot more of the game.
Probably like 3 quarters. At least past half, maybe a series of past half. So they'll get halftime, they'll play a series after, and then Mayfield will come in.
And then, of course, the week 4 preseason, the starters won't play. I'm almost tempted just, all right, put Mayfield in for the first half. Let him play with the ones, see what he's got. Let Tyrod play a couple series. I mean, they haven't really let Tyrod do anything in his first 2 preseason games.
They barely let Mayfield do anything. Yeah. Look at the play calling has been, like I said, so vanilla, man. They are really trying to get the run game. I think that's pretty smart, actually, for Haley. No, he probably goes, look, like our pass game is so much further ahead than our run game. I'm going to run these guys to death until they figure it out. And it would look like a big jump from game 1 to game 2. That's for sure.
Yeah. Even Chubb,
a lot of it could be
53 yards on 11 carries.
Yeah, a lot of it could be based upon opponent as well. But yeah, I mean, Chubb looked better. You're right. Hyatt looked better.
But the holes were bigger. So again, just get somebody good enough to run through them.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it'll be so. What you were saying is, maybe you would put Mayfield out there with the first teamers, right? And it's probably a good idea. But there's no way Hugh's doing that, So the prediction is 100%. Tyrod's playing this thing and he's starting the year. But if we were coach, there would be a real debate here, in our opinion. I mean, obviously for you, and now the more I think about it, yes, there's a real debate here.
Oh, the goddamn debate in the room now is if Mayfield's even the backup.
Thank you. That's what I was getting. That's what I was going to get to.
That's the quarterback controversy is Stanton and Mayfield. Get the fuck out of here.
I know, dude. It's so ridiculous how they are trying. They will not say one positive thing about Mayfield. I'm telling you, man. I brought this up weeks ago. It is week after week of how can we say something nice about Tyrod or Drew Stanton, but at the same time, backhanded comment about about Mayfield and how he's not ready. It's hilarious. Now, Drew Stanton, thank you. I think Hugh couldn't even say that with a straight face to the press after last night.
Yeah.
Right? But hey, let's get to the game a little bit.
You were there, right? How was the atmosphere?
There was a lot of Bills fans. Honestly, it's like a 3-hour drive from Buffalo, so there wasn't a lot of Browns fans. There was also an Indians game going on at the same time, so that probably didn't help. But it's preseason stuff. Evie went to her first game, so she was pretty excited, and she sat on my wife's phone the whole time and played games. She was pretty pumped up to be there. It's nice going because you get the full view of the field and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Then when I got home, I rewatched it and I had to listen to the Buffalo. I forgot to record it and I had to listen to it from the Buffalo point of view. So I don't even know what they were talking about from the Cleveland guys. But so I got a lot of Josh Allen talk.
Yeah, that was the NFL Game Pass feed. Was the Bills feed?
Oh, it was okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got that too. I thought the interesting thing, we talked about the offense being vanilla, but how about some of the stuff they were doing on defense there? Did you notice they came out with four linebackers, okay, and then they had Avery up on the line in a 2-point stance. It was Avery, and then next to him was Ogunjobi and Agba, and then Garrett. So almost like they just really had 3 down linemen, and then we're playing like a 3-4 type defense, but they're playing Avery as like a rush linebacker. But at times he also dropped in coverage. And then the other 3 linebackers were Schobert, Kendricks, and Collins, and which means Kirksey's the odd man out here. Did you notice that?
I did, yeah. That was interesting. The whole defensive lineup was, I don't know if they were trying different shit or if this is stuff that they plan to do. It was working well.
Yeah, well, we were playing A.J. McCarron, so.
It's worth a second and a third.
Which we already talked about, but goddamn, Garrett was just phenomenal. Whoever we go up against, unless they have an elite tackle, an elite left tackle, they're going to be in trouble on a weekly basis. That's for sure. It's going to take a really good tackle to even slow him down because he looks like he's on a different level this year. His get off is through the roof. I mean, dude, he's so fast off the ball. It almost at times looks like he's jumping the snap, like he's actually he's offsides, but he's not. It's like instant. The ball snapped and he's going. He's gotten so good at that, and then you see on the other side, Agba is not even. It's almost as if he hasn't even thought about that as a way. But that was some interesting thing. I thought that Kendricks made some good plays. Right, he made the one big run stuff. Mm-hmm. You remember that one on Shady? But then if you go back and you really watch it closely, there was one really long run in the second quarter that he gave up, and it was
Marcus
who was that backup? Yes, and if you go and watch that, that's Kendrick's hole that he didn't get into. He didn't fill his hole properly. Collins was filling his. The defensive lineman was in his hole, and Kendrick's he was going. I don't know if he got fooled or what, but that wasn't good. The real question for those guys is who's going to be able to cover when it comes time to, because we really we went from the Giants, who barely played Eli and then played whatever his name was, that terrible quarterback over there, to the Bills, who just have terrible quarterback play in general. We really haven't seen this defense be tested at all yet.
Yeah, in coverage.
At coverage. Yeah, because the quarterback play has been so terrible. I thought, Kindred got that big sack. He made a nice play on Josh Allen when Allen got in there. Thought he looked halfway decent. The defensive line, the defensive tackles, though, boy, we need to do something there outside of Agba.
The second group was no good either.
And if you get all the way to the end of the game, you see Chad Thomas is in there playing the 3 tech and 1 tech at the end of the game. And then that Zaycove and Henderson is getting a lot of playing time. So between those two, they're playing 3 and a 1 tech. And Chad Thomas looks, maybe he's coming off the injury, but he looks so slow off the ball. Looks terrible right now. Hopefully he just needs to get in shape or something.
Yeah. Chris Smith played there. There was no contain with the second group. Orchard lost contain a few times. Chris Smith looked like he lost it.
Chris Smith's got a nice get off, though, when he's getting after a quarterback. It's almost like you can only use him as a situational guy, pass rusher. That's all he's good for. Because you're right. The one he got, they had a really long run on the one on the outside, and he wasn't containing at all.
Yeah, and Josh Allen was just sort of stepping up and moving to the side a lot of times and getting out.
Josh Allen actually played halfway decent. And that one where Orchard is rushing and he threw the touchdown pass, that was a nice little move. That was a nice little block for it. But they weren't asking him to do much. It's not like he threw the ball down the field. He didn't have to do that. He just managed it.
Yeah, 9 of 13 for 60 yards, 4.6 average. I mean,
I thought, and he didn't have to go up against Garrett, so he was lucky there too. But they did get after him. I mean, hell, they got the sack with Kindred, and then didn't they have another? No, it was almost sacked by NASA, but he ended up getting like 2 yards. Mm-hmm. But there was the hands of the face call, and it gave him the first down, and then that's how they drove down.
No, they called NASA for a face mask there that he didn't grab.
No. So that's not what it actually was. So that's what they said on the Bills the Bills. Because I went back and watched the game, and the Bills are like, "Hey, he didn't even get his face mask. It wasn't a face mask penalty. It was a hands to the face on Jannard Avery."
Okay.
On the replay, but the Bills broadcast didn't know what the hell they were talking about. So that's how the Bills broadcast screwing you over. You should write them a letter.
Yeah, that clears it up because they never even showed the referee making the call.
Yep.
So I had no idea.
It was a terribly rough game, and we'll get to that here in a second because there were some other bad calls. So really they let him off the hook with that. Gerard Avery got after it though, rushing the passer. I think he looks good. He's he just there's so many different things he can do. He might be the most talented linebacker we have there because he can do everything. Yeah. He looked good in coverage too. In some of the times he was dropping in coverage. Man, he's just such a talented guy, and we got a steal on him in the 5th round.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
How about Collins playing? He played for a while as well. I think he played a lot of snaps, right?
Ah, man, it's so weird what they're doing with him.
They had him in the middle a few times.
Linebackers. Who's getting traded? There's no way you're keeping Burgess. They gotta like James Burgess. Burgess made a couple more plays again last night. They gotta like Kendricks, Burgess, Schobert. You got Kirksey, you got Collins, you got Avery. You're not keeping all these dudes. You got, besides that, you have a drop off, but there's that. That's 6 dudes that are legitimate linebackers that you have some value. You can get something. Now, Collins being $10 million man is probably going to be tough to get anything for. You're not going to get anything real for him. Even Kirksey's got a halfway decent contract that somebody would have to pick up. That might be tough. But you think one of these other guys...
Kirksey's number this year's 6.2 and next year's 8.2, and they're guaranteed. You can't trade Kirksey because they'd have to eat another $5 million in bonus. So they'd be on the hook for $17 million for basically 2 years, and then they could move on. But I don't think you could trade Collins, even though Collins is only guaranteed this 1 year. The actual cost to pick up the bonus as well would be almost $14 million.
So who would you trade, Schobert?
Schobert's the only one and then he's young. So why would you don't even want to get rid of him because he's on a rookie contract. He's the cheapest.
Right, and Burgess gives you cheap freaking depth. So there's no point in getting rid of him. I mean, I don't know, maybe they keep them all. It just seems weird. We got so many damn linebackers, and I guess Greg Williams is figuring out a way to play them all with the 4 linebacker sets.
I mean, you're almost pulling off like an Osweiler trade to get rid of Collins, where you got to throw in a pick too to get rid of his money.
Yeah, no, that would be. I mean, we don't need the money. The money is.
Yeah, it's just we got too many good players there.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if one of those big name dudes gets cut and they just go, fuck it, we'll eat the money. I mean, Collins, they could eat the money on him. It's not that big of a deal.
Sure. I feel they really need to add depth, I think, in the interior defensive line on the defense. If they can find something in the secondary, whether it be like another corner. I mean, we got all these cornerbacks now too that they're paying, but none of them seem to be really standout players outside of Ward, and Mitchell's doing a nice job so far.
If you're looking for somebody on the interior, maybe a team that has somebody sort of on a bloated contract that they find expendable, and then you could go, hey, we can give you a shitty contract in return, and so the teams are sort of canceling out cap hits. Maybe you could move Collins in a trade like that, but nobody's giving you picks for Collins. I just don't even think that's possible.
Nobody even needs linebackers. It's like we're wealthy in the one thing nobody fucking wants.
Yeah.
True. Like, who needs linebackers?
I mean, I'm not even saying Collins is bad. I'm just saying the way his contract is, boy, you're asking a team to take on, you got to find teams that have 15 million open cap space. I know it's a lot of the league nowadays, but yikes.
Yeah, he's not worth his contract, though. I mean, that much we can agree on.
Well, if you got kids like Avery that can play, and Schobert that can play, and Burgess that can play, and they're all making, $400,000, $500,000, you can use Collins' cap money for something else. I know the Browns don't need the cap. I get it. But that's part of how you look forward with these teams is...
Sure, for sure.
If Collins is expendable at the end of the year, and they know it, and they don't want to keep him around, I don't see any reason for them not to go ahead and make that cut if they know we're cutting him next year anyway.
Right.
As a cap hit, because they don't want to pay the contract. I mean, you could always restructure, but there's a different options. But if you're not going to keep him, I'd get rid of him now and play Avery, play Burgess.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. So don't be surprised if something like that ends up happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you tend to overrate your players. Collins isn't worth a 3rd round draft pick going somewhere else. I know we gave a 3rd or 4th or whatever it was. That was a different situation.
Well, maybe it'll take this next game. So we play the Eagles on Thursday. Maybe we'll actually be able to see what it's like to go up against the offense. But actually, now that I think about it, Foles got hurt, and I don't know if
Wentz isn't even hardly
Wentz
back.
is even back. Yeah. So we might have more terrible quarterback play next week. We might not find out what the Browns have on defense until week 1. Because our preseason is so fucking terrible. It's unbelievable. What do you think of Josh Allen? Did you have any takeaways from him last night?
Yeah, I mean, he did what he had to do. He didn't force anything in there. But even when he had to make like an accurate throw, generally they were accurate. Except for his first pass was a little awkward. I think.
No, I think that was a mess up on either he thought the guy was running a different route or Benjamin ran, because Benjamin stopped and he threw the slant.
Yeah, so
that was just
that looked a little off. But besides that, I mean, he threw the ball fairly well. He got out of the pocket and ran when he had to.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, he looks fine to me.
Make him work. To make him work, you really, if they get him in an offense like they do with Carson Wentz, you can make Josh Allen work. You have to have a proper offense. He's sort of Cam Newton-like in some of the plays he can make with his feet, So he can. The guy's got just a ton of talent. It's just if they end up rushing him with that freaking team, because that offensive line did not look good against our guys. Ogunjobi had a sack. Garrett, did he have a sack, or was that just the one where the McCarron just have an incomplete, or did he fumble? I can't even remember what happened on that one, where Garrett hit him. But Garrett had a number of pressures, and we just got after him with four guys on a lot of times. Man, that's going to be rough. You end up throwing Allen back there, and you could really crush this kid's spirit here early.
Yeah, and I think if you pressure him to force him to make some bad throws, he's going to make some awful, bad looking throws.
Oh, and he's done it. He's put that on tape.
Yeah, that's just going to go back to college, is trying to force some shit in the NFL. Safeties are going to eat him alive.
They did a good job of rolling him out. Now, the one he got absolutely annihilated on because he didn't see Kindred coming, but a couple other times where they rolled him out, you got to make things easy for him. And then every once in a while, let him take a shot with that big arm downfield.
Mm-hmm.
You get in third. You want to get in third and manageable, and then if he doesn't see anything easy, he can just get out of the pocket and try to run for a first down. So I think there's ways to make it work with him. I never thought he was bad as Hackenberg. Hackenberg's on a different level of bad. I just think that there's a lot of risk with the guy, due to his accuracy. But he seems to be steadily improving that. I don't think that there's no chance for this kid. I think there is a chance. You just have to set things up properly for him. I think it's different than Mayfield. Mayfield is the guy he's just going to get it to you. He's going to get it to his playmakers and let them do the work, where Josh Allen seems to be doing a lot of the work, having to put a lot on his shoulders. He's not so much the facilitator. He's more of the guy that's trying to do it all. But, so let's get over to the offense a little bit. We talked a little bit about Tyrod, the run game and whatnot, but now when Mayfield gets in there, once again, they pretty vanilla with the play calling. Just overall, what do you feel of his night?
I'll go through these first 3 drives. He had 3 and outs for his first 3 drives. He came in. Oh no, actually Chubb ran for 14 on the first play when Mayfield came in.
Yeah,
and then Mayfield checked down to him for 3, and then they ran a screen pass for negative yardage. I have yet to see Mayfield, when he's on the field, have a screen that looks like a screen yet. And I know it's not his fault. It's just the timing has been off. Chubb ran into somebody trying to leak out. The line hasn't really got to their spots.
Yeah.
I'd definitely be running a lot of screens with that group to try. It's such an important play in the NFL.
Oh man, and the play, it's such a big staple of Todd Haley's offense, man. They do such a good job where he makes it. I think we almost scored a touchdown on the one where it was the big tight end. What the hell's his name? The big guy, Fells. He's holding this block for 1, 2, 3 count, and then he turns around and the defense isn't even. They're just treating him as a blocker, and then he gets hit and he almost scored on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrod threw it to him. It might have even been the first drive. But they used those so much in Pittsburgh. They killed the Browns on those. And it's just confusing for the defense because they're recognizing it. They're going, oh, that guy's not going out for a pass. Let me go look for somebody else to guard. And then he just holds it, block 1, 2, 3, turns around, makes a catch, and then he's got a free 6, 7 yards. it's like a gimme at that point. So yeah, the second team obviously not anywhere near where the first team is with that.
Yeah,
you're right.
So then it was 3rd and 10 after that fucked up screen, and they ran the ball, which is interesting.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
2 weeks in a row they've run it on 3rd and 10.
I think they're just trying to get out of there. So they go to half. They come out after half. The first play, there is a rusher off the edge that Chubb is going to pick up, and Coleman also tries to pick him up, and they leave a free rusher.
Okay, good. I was wondering if you saw it like that. So Coleman, that had to have been Coleman's responsibility, because if you watch the line as a whole, the line all are shifting left. Coleman hits the guy at first and then continues right. He's the only one that goes right. He needed to stay on the guy who initially was, and Chubb would have had the outside, the right. So all the line was going left, which means Chubb would know that he's got the right rusher.
Yeah, okay.
That was 100% on Sean Coleman there.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
And got Mayfield, just he didn't stand a chance.
Yeah, and he didn't take a big hit or anything. He tucked and went down pretty smoothly.
Yeah.
So 2nd and 18, he threw an incomplete pass. I don't remember the exact play or where it went. Then 3rd and 18, there was a hold, 3 and out again. Come back, Chubb, 3rd and 3, and then some dude named Orson Charles dropped a beautiful pass across the middle.
That was slightly on the behind. Yeah, now that the one thing where Mayfield excelled in college, and he is already excelling in the pros, is the middle of the field. He makes so many plays over the middle of the field. That was I will give Orson Charles only half credit for that drop, because the ball was slightly behind, but he should have caught that. It wasn't completely accurate, but Mayfield's trying to make a play. The receiver needs to make a play. Orson Charles, if you go back and watch his blocking, which I know you haven't got a chance to watch it 2 times yet, Orson Charles probably won't be on this team, okay? So he doesn't make the play there. If you make the play there, now we're talking maybe there's a chance you can make the team. But if you go back and watch his blocking, he missed so many blocks last night. There's not a chance in hell. And Hugh loves this guy since he was in Cincinnati. So Hugh will be probably saying, yeah, Orson's playing great, but John Dorsey is not stupid, and he's not going to allow Orson Charles to continue this kind of shitty play.
Then it was in his 3rd drive is when they scored. He hit Ratley two times in that drive. The 26-yarder to Cajuste.
Yes, big 3rd and 7 on that one, I remember. And Damian Ratley, he looks nice and fluid. It's good to see him healthy, because he got hurt the first practice, and I don't know if it took him a little bit to get back from that. He's got nice size to him. Him and C.J. Board are pretty close, except Ratley seems to have the physical ability over top of what C.J. Board. C.J. Board more of a quick guy. Ratley, if he can develop, it's a nice developmental guy here, that he's got some long speed to him. And it might take a couple years, but these are one of these guys that if you can stash on your practice squad and give him a couple years of seasoning, you might have something there. You see the little things that he does, and you go, oh, that guy, he's got something. But yeah, Cajuste made that big play, 26-yarder, and then came back. I'm sure you're going to get there, and then had the OPI.
Yeah, boy, the Browns are still getting these offensive pass interference calls off the ball. God, it seems like we had so many last year, too.
Oh, we did. We had 3 of them up to that point. So 2 of them were on Landry. The first one was terrible. It was not go back and watch it. They called on Landry. There's no offensive pass interference there. He didn't even extend his hands or nothing. All he did was just run. The second one, Landry's blocking before the ball's thrown. So that's automatic. If you're blocking before the ball's thrown, offensive pass interference. And then Cajuste was also, it was bad. You can't do that, Cajuste. You can't just, when the ball snapped, you can't just run out and start blocking.
Yeah,
you
just
have
make
to
it
act
look
like
good.
you're running a route.
Yeah,
just make it look good. All you have to do is get in the way. It's just a pick play. I mean, come on, man. It's not that hard. I don't know. They need to do a better job of coaching that up, in my opinion.
Yeah, it just seems lazy to just pretend you're running a route and don't make it look like you're literally just shoving the dude out of the way.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, but that 3rd and 7 pass,
field goal out of that drive.
Yes, they did, and it was because of that penalty, because that was right. Willie's caught the touchdown pass on that play, but it was a clear out, so nothing you could do. And then Mayfield, I think they came back, and Mayfield tried to throw one, but it wasn't even close to the end zone, so basically almost throwing it away.
He did have a dangerous pass in the next series that could have been trouble.
dangerous for him to get an interception, and also for Janis to get absolutely sawed off, and he did. Janis. That was the first ball that Mayfield's thrown in the 2 games. First forced ball that
I thought
that
so
Mayfield.
too. Yeah, it wasn't a very good one. Then Chubb ran it down to like the goal line, and then
he looked like he was in.
Yeah, it did. I'm glad they didn't
like Chubb
put him in because I wanted to see Mayfield run the the offense from the 1 there.
Yeah.
And then made that little fade route. Damn, that's such a hard pass to throw. It never works. Step, plant, throw was like automatic. It was so perfect.
And there was a Baldy breakdown on it where he's basically calling for Mayfield to be with the ones, but he was saying the same thing. It's the thing that Kaiser never did was put the proper height on the ball. Remember, he used to throw it like a line drive, and it would drive me insane. Like you've got David Njoku out there. Why are you throwing the guy a line drive? Throw the damn. He's a high jump. He's a freaking 7-foot high jumper. Throw the ball up in the air.
Yeah. And
Mayfield threw it perfectly, and Willie just if you watch the replay, his knee just hit out of bounds before he got that second foot in. At least from the Bills one, because when I was listening to the radio after the game, Zagura was saying that he was robbed and there was no way. It was maybe they didn't show that on the Browns broadcast, but from the Bills broadcast, 100% you can see the knee touches down a split second before his second foot gets in, and the knee was just out of bounds.
Yeah, it was definitely out of bounds, just barely. But and then Chubb ran it in on 3rd and goal anyway on a nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you think of Chubb?
That was
bounce
the
back
end
game, by the way.
Much better. He looks so good in
power.
space.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to take some taxes too when you come up to hit him. He wasn't going to make it easy. I like that. Hyde's kind of like that too. He's going to take some payment.
Oh, absolutely.
I sort of like our running backs. And then Duke went for 27 yards on 4 carries. So it was nice to see them get him a couple carries as well, because this little 3-headed monster could be. You can rotate Hyde and Chubb in as regular running backs, keep them fresh. And then Duke coming in for what he does, catching screen passes or delays or draw plays. Yep. Duke's so good on those.
Yep. 3-headed monster. I like that. Yeah, Duke obviously will get more time. They're saving Duke. You don't need to get Duke much preseason work.
4 carries is plenty if he's going to catch some passes too,
4 carries for the preseason's more than enough for Duke, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Get him out of there.
Yeah, we don't need to go crazy, but I do think the running game has an opportunity to be really good because you don't have to wear down. I think Chubb's going to be just as good as Hyde, and everything's going to be fine from both of those running backs, and we know Johnson can deliver. So
yeah, Damari Scott had a couple of catches in there that I don't think we covered. I think he's been a guy. There's a real talk. Browns have a real discussion of like who's our 5th and 6th receivers on this team.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of names out there. Janis got I think there was a punt. Yeah, the guy called fair catch late, and Janis ran into him.
Oh, that was terrible. Yeah,
so
that was bad.
But if Janis is playing, he's always the gunner on the punt team. He's probably making the team, right? If they want him to play that spot.
Yeah, probably. But he's the least talented of all those wide receivers as a guy playing wide receiver. So maybe they just keep. You got it. I'm glad you brought that up. Our frickin' return defense is pitiful.
Yeah.
The punt coverage is terrible. Going all the way back to going back for like the last 3 years, and they didn't look any better. I mean, I'm almost willing to trade one of these linebackers for just a stud gunner, the best one in the game. you know,
they gave a 39-yard return up to Marcus Murphy, the second running back there, and then Kalen Clay had a 29-yard return.
Mm-hmm.
That's no good.
It's constant. No, they gotta get much better there. Those breakdowns keep happening. There's no contain on the first one at all. I don't know who blew that one. If Janis is gonna make the team, he better. That's the way he's gonna make it. So he better quit making boneheaded plays like that.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah, you're right. Damari Scott has played fine. Ratley's been out there. C.J. Board has been returning punts. He had 1 target, and Derek Willis also has been playing. Yep. So.
But no, we haven't seen these guys. I think the difference is if you get them in against the first team and they're going up against really good corners, can these guys even get open at that point?
Right.
It's just unknown. seems like a lot of practice squad guys, got developmental guys that we're working with right now.
Yeah.
There's something I was going to ask you, and I can't even remember. So there's the special teams we covered, the offense we've covered, defense we've covered. Is there anything else you have on the offense?
No turnovers again. Good. We did force a fumble that we didn't get, but nice work there to cause a fumble.
Oh, that was an obvious fumble. What the hell? That's not challengeable play? The one in the fourth quarter? Late in the fourth quarter, there was a kickoff.
Once Stanton came in, I pretty much wrapped it up. I stopped taking
like you're
notes.
mailing in this show as well. Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. Stanton's in. I'm out of here. Like half the stands last night. Yeah, so it was a terribly officiated game though last night, man. There was an obvious fumble on the kickoff after the touchdown, or maybe it was even on a punt. I can't even remember. I also checked out apparently after Stanton came in, but and Kajus fell on it, I believe, and they said nope.
I did see that. They said they blew the whistle.
So what?
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
I do.
Who cares if they blew the whistle? I mean, the play obviously wasn't stopped. There's no way that anybody blew the whistle before the recovery was made. It was a bang bang play. He fumbled it so obviously, and then they didn't even look back at it. Like that was terrible. And then somebody blew the coverage on O'Leary to lose the undefeated preseason, and whoever that is, instant cut this morning, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know who it was.
You do? Jeremiah
McKinnon?
Oh, well, I already cut him in my mind, so that's fine. I don't even know who he is.
Nope. It was Elijah Campbell, the other.
Oh, Elijah Campbell. How dare you?
Out of northern Iowa.
Well, it was nice to have you while you're here. Gone. Oh, you got anything else on the game? I thought it was halfway. The Browns played halfway decent, but I think there's a lot of things to still get corrected, and penalties being one. Oh, I know what I wanted to bring up to you earlier. Joel Bitonio, excellent job.
Yep.
Again. I'm not even a little bit worried about Mr. Bitonio at this point.
Yeah, that goes to say Hubbard on the other side.
Hubbard.
Haven't heard a word.
Point. Yep, good point. Our tackles are the least. they're the least of our problems, unless one of them gets injured, and then we're screwed.
Yeah. Hubbard is just quietly going about his work over there, and Bitonio's been fine at left tackle. I think Corbett's been fine at left guard.
Well, he wasn't that good last game. I'll have to go back and just watch more of him.
Yeah,
I was watching more Bitonio the second time through. I was like, I just want to see Bitonio. I mean, he's stonewalling people, man. So that's a good sign.
Yeah,
he's a bad dude.
Yeah, kind of like where we're going with the tackles. Hopefully, let's stay healthy now and then work out the rest of this interior part of the line. Hopefully Zeitler's coming back healthy by week 1. That would help.
Oh, sure. Well, I don't have anything else. Do you? Right. I know we'll have probably a show before the game next week for sure.
What day do we play?
We play Thursday next week, and we play the Super Bowl champions.
There it is, Thursday, 8 p.m. on Fox.
Ooh. And we'll be back for a Hard Knock show, I'm sure of that, before then anyways.
All right. Sounds good. Twitter's at STS Podcasts. Email is survivingtheseason@gmail.com. Patreon supporters, you can hit us up. Patreon.com/STS Podcasts. Browns 1-1. It's all falling apart. # Road to Redemption. Greg, tell them what we say.
Keep on surviving.